Hi, and welcome to week 8 of math class. So I thought I would give you just a little bit of break from seeing my face. Whether you've been learning online or learning in school, you're probably getting tired of seeing me. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about if you're getting tired of hearing me. This week, we're getting into something new. We're getting into multiplication. So what's multiplication? Well, it starts off with an x. If you're looking at that as something that you're familiar with, of course that's a letter X. But in multiplication, that is actually the sign. That shows me that I will be multiplying. We'll talk in a second about what multiplication is or what multiplying means. Just like when you do addition, we have something that looks like a T, the plus looks like a T. Subtraction, you have that minus sign. Multiplication, we will use an X. And this X means that we are taking a number times another number. So it's letting us know that we have a certain amount and we need to take it this many times. So let's take a look at different ways that we can do that. So you see this multiplication chart and you see this blank piece of paper. We are going to focus on the blank piece of paper just for a moment. So there's many ways that we can do multiplication. We could use a calculator, of course, but as you're going to hear throughout the week, until you truly understand what multiplication is, until you can really understand why you're getting an answer, using a calculator isn't teaching you anything. Anybody can hit numbers and signs, but you don't know what you're doing. You don't know why you're doing it. So why is multiplication important? Well, multiplication is something that you will use very frequently if you decide to go into the food business. When you are cooking and you are having to make a recipe, and if you want to make it larger than what it calls for, you actually use multiplication to do that. So that is why we are taking the time to learn this today. So let me show you one way that we can do multiplication. One way we can do it is we're going to take this problem. Let's just do, I don't know. We'll do 3 times 2. So before I show you how I'm going to do that, I want to explain to you what this all means. Look at 3 as the number. It's a value. We know what 3 is. And this is where our manipulatives or our blocks will come into play. Everybody will have some manipulatives. If you were in school, you will have them in your bin. If you were at home, be expecting them in the mail if they haven't shown up already. They will be in a small brown envelope with your name, and those are yours to keep while we're doing multiplication. I'll get them back from you sometime, hopefully soon if you decide to come back to school, but if not, we'll get them at some point. So, okay, we have this number 3, and there it is. Right? This is telling me this is how much I need. Then our multiplication sign is telling us we're going to take 3 2 times. Okay, so that means I have to have 3 blocks twice. Well, I already have them here once, so that means I'm going to have to go ahead and I'm going to have to make a second group of 3, and you can see I have that 1, 2, 3. Right? Now, to solve my multiplication problem, I'm going to put these together just so I know how much I'm adding. Or I'm sorry, how much I'm putting together. So when we do this with any other operation, whether it's addition and subtraction, we either take away or we put it together. Well, in multiplication, we're going to put it together and we're just going to count to get an answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. Another way we can do that, and again, you will be seeing this throughout the week. I have a couple different videos just to remind you, because this is new, this is different. For most of you, multiplication has never been done. So if I'm doing 2 times 3, well, again, I've just told you my top number is how much I need. So I need 2. Well, how many times am I going to have to make 2 to get 2 times 3? Well, my bottom number tells me how many groups I'll need. So I need 3 groups of 2 to do the problem. And you can see I have 1 group, I have 2 groups, and I have 3 groups. Put them together. Let's see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you haven't noticed by now, multiplication and addition are pretty similar. You notice that when we have one group and we have another group and we have another group, we're putting things together. We're counting up. Multiplication is repeated addition, and that's something we'll get into later. But for now, you know how to use our manipulatives or our blocks to do multiplication. Now let me show you the other way to do multiplication, and you will be doing this way toward the end of our week. So we have this thing called a multiplication chart. So when you have a multiplication chart, you will not be using your blocks. The chart will help you get your answer. So let's talk about how to do it. So we have our chart. Before we look at that, take a look at the bottom. We have the asterisks or the bullets that tell us important information. Anytime you see these asterisks or things that look like snowflakes or bullets, it means you have some important information. Notice on our chart we have numbers 2, 3, 4, 5 going down. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 going across. They are gray because those are important. Those are what we're going to use to solve our multiplication problems. Now these asterisks or these important points are telling us a rule. So this first one says all numbers times 0 equals 0. So it doesn't matter if you have 8 times 0, all that's telling you I have 8 things, but I'm going to take them 0 times. Well, that means you have nothing because you have nothing to give. The other rule is anytime you take anything times 1, that will be or equal the number that you took with the 1. So for example, if you have 4 times 1, well, you have 4. You have a 1 time, well, that's all you have. You have 4. And we will work on these 2 today. This will be the first lesson that you do. They are actually pretty easy. I have some videos to explain and teach you how to do that. This multiplication chart is what you'll be using at the end of the week. And this shows, so the blocks show me that you understand multiplication. You understand the concept. It means that you know that multiplication is just repeated addition and you are able to set up a problem and show how to give an answer. Well, the multiplication chart is the next step before you get to a calculator. Let's take a look at how we would use it. I'm going to set up the problem. 2 times 5. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that top number. That top number tells me how much I need. The top number, when you're using a multiplication chart, will be found over here where the column goes down. So I found that number 2, and I'm just going to color that green so you know what I'm dealing with. My bottom number, so I'm going to take 2. How many times do I need 2 to show up? Well, I need to show up 5 times. So I find that number in my top row. I go over to my 5. And again, I'm going to highlight it. You're not going to have that option when you're doing the Nearpods, but I'll show you in a video how you can use your finger to do that later on in the week. So I have 2 highlighted. I have 5 highlighted. I'm just going to bring my finger that's on the 2. I'm going to bring it across till I get to that 5 column. Come down. I'm going to touch. I just found my answer. 2 times 5 is 10. Just to show you that it isn't any different when you use the blocks, I have a group of 2. I need it 5 times. There's 1 group. There's 2. There's 3. Here's 4. And there is a group of 2 that makes 5. So let's count those all together and see what our answer is. We'll see if using the blocks is the same as using a multiplication chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 times 5 equals 10. So as I said throughout the week, this is how we'll be doing multiplication. If you have questions, you have problems, you have concerns, if you're on the computer learning at home, please use chat or email so that we could set up time to Zoom and talk. Otherwise, if you're in class, put that hand up and we can help you get started with your problems. This is a new concept. This is different. I know you did very little of it last year. However, it should look a little familiar. Please take the suggestions that I give you throughout the week in the videos. There will be more videos in the Nearpods this week just to help you so you feel more comfortable. But if you need more help, please come to us. Please chat us so that myself or the paras can walk you through how to do single digit multiplication.